Hi guys, I've decided to do another video on WETHINKCODE's bootcamp curriculum. So I already have another video on WETHINKCODE bootcamp, but it's long and it has all the information that you need. Basically my whole experience with the bootcamp. But this one is just going to be straightforward and it's just going to be about the curriculum. And yeah, and it's going to be shorter because I've realized that those are the videos that I actually watch until the end. If it's straight to the point, giving me all the information that I need. Okay, but before you watch the video that I made for you, I went there, I took pictures, I made sure that I remember everything that we did there for you. So please subscribe to my channel. I hope you watch until the end. That's why I'm doing a short video, so that you watch until the end and you get all the information you need. Take notes and please use what I'm telling you. It's definitely gonna help you. Okay, so the first thing you'll do when you get there is write an entrance exam, which is not going to be bad if you study what I'm going to tell you to study. And I got 0 for the exam. It was only 10 questions. I don't think the exam matters that much. The entrance exam matters that much because they know that some people are inexperienced. Some people have no prior experience in coding, so it's fine. Like, even if you get 0, if you know nothing, that's okay. They just want to know how much you know. And then you'll also do a final exam. I think that's the one you should worry about. They want to know how much you learned during this short period of time. So it's going to be an entrance exam, a final exam at the end of the 6 days. In between the 6 days, you're going to have, I'm going to keep looking here because I took notes this time. So on open class, on LMS open class, there's going to be tasks that you need to do, which are also going to be on VS Code. So if you haven't coded before, you probably don't have VS Code. Download VS Code to make things easier for yourself. Download VS Code. So once you have downloaded VS Code, practice. Okay, so there's going to be open class, task on VS Code, and then the group project. Okay, and everything I'm going to give you here is on open class, on VS Code, and in the entrance and final exam. Okay, so the first topic is data types. Data types are easy. So I would suggest you go to W3 schools. That's all you need. That's literally all you need. W3 schools. So you will have to study Boolean. Actually, if you go to W3 schools, someone is passing by. So if you go to W3 schools and go to Python, the Python tutorial, and just study everything that's there, you'll be fine. But I'm just gonna tell you, Boolean. Under data types, there's Boolean. You have to know Boolean. The one you'll find on W3 schools is enough. And keep practicing. You have to study integers. You have to study string. And you have to know how to convert to a float. You have to know how to code or write a program that prints out all the data types. I don't know how to explain that, but you're gonna have to have to print out something, you're going to have to be able to print out a string, an integer, a float. What else? You're going to have to print out all the data types in one program. Create a program that prints out all the data types, basically. So, okay, now I'm moving on to the next one. So the next topic is making decisions and repeating instructions. You have to know the loops. So the for loop, you have to know the for loop, and there's going to be a question where you're supposed to use the continue statement. You have to know your if else. You have to know your if, elif, else. You have to know how to print out a pattern using a for loop, and you have to know Fibonacci. I had never heard of Fibonacci before I went there, so study that. I could have just said study Python because that's all you need to do, but for someone who has no experience in coding, they wouldn't know where to start. And even if you do have if you do experience, I feel like you just wing it and you'd be fine. And maybe you're stressed, you feel like there's more, but it's just Python. And the next topic is what's combining instructions. And also on this one, combining instructions, there's really not much. You just have to study your loops. Just go to W3 schools, study the loops. Okay, the next one is file, input, and output. We're actually doing this now at ALX in C programming though. So study file, input, and output in Python. I think it's gonna be the same. So let me just tell you about my part of the project that I had to do in the group project. I had to open a file, and then did I have to write into the file? Yes, I had to open a file. There was a file with names, usernames. I had to ask the user to input their username, and then once they've input their username, my program was supposed to search for the username. If it finds the username, this is where your if else comes in. If it finds the username, it prints out the username. But if it doesn't find the username, then you have to now write into the file and put in the correct details. So you have to remember that anything that you do on VS Code, anything that you do on Open Class is going to come out in the project and also in the final exam. So you need to do that. And you also need to know how to append a file. Is structuring data. And by the way, guys, I have a lisp, so I'm about to say this word that I can't say properly. I'm gonna write it down for you. Okay, lists. What a list, guys. I'm just gonna say list. So you have to study list and tuples. Yeah, you're gonna have to study list and tuples. I'm gonna give you an example, a question. Write a Python function that to multiply all the numbers in a list, and then they give you the list of numbers. Just study that on W3 schools and you'll be fine. List and tuples. Okay, I just saw something I've never seen before. A palindrome. Write a Python function that checks whether a passed string is palindrome or not. No, it's a palindrome is a word, phrase, or sequence that reads the same backward as forward. Return true. And in order to do that, you are gonna use a while loop. So study the loops. And then we have, this is the next topic. I think it's the last one. Well, that's all I have. It is the last one actually. More data structures. So you're gonna have to print out a set, and you're gonna have to remove names from the set, and then you're gonna have to print out the set without the person you removed, and then you're gonna have to add stuff to the set, and then you will have to print out the difference in set 2 compared to set 1. I think that's everything. Now I'm gonna tell you about the project. So they give you, or they assign you to a group, and then this is what the project was. You have this is what the project was. I'm not prepared for this one. Now I'm just what the project is basically is applying into WETHINKCODE. It's applying into WETHINKCODE. It's the bootcamp, registering into the bootcamp, and I did registration station. Okay, so in registration station, that's the one that I did. It wasn't easy. It is easy when you look at it, but for me it wasn't, because I had no experience in Python. So you have to read a file. I've already told you this. There is a file that's given to you. It has usernames. You have to read that file. You have to open that file, and then you have to ask the user to input their username, and then you search for that username in the file, and then if it's correct, then you continue. If the details are correct, you continue, and if the details are incorrect, then you prompt the user to input the correct details, which is writing into the file. And then once they input the correct one, perfect. Once you input the correct one, then the program is going to return the correct details, like all the details on that username. So that's the one that I did, which is registration station. And then another one is username generator. This was the easiest one. This is the one that a lot of people did. This one, you are prompting the user to input their username, their details. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next one. I should actually do this thing again. Spinal Selector, team allocator. Okay, so you have to study the list. This is where the stuff that you did on OpenClass, on VS Code comes in. The list you've already done it on OpenClass, so you are going to, from the list that you've been given, it's going to be given to you in a text file. From that list, you have to print out, no, not print out, but return the names that they ask you for. They'll tell you the details. Return them. I don't have the details. That's basically it. See, this was so difficult during This was so difficult during boot camp because I had no experience. But now that I look at this, I'm just like, so if you study, then you'll be fine. We were stressing so much. We were stressing. I'm so tired because this is a lot. This is actually a lot, and I still have to edit. And who am I doing it for? Because I have no subscribers. Who am I doing it for? Please subscribe. Here's the last one. Okay, so this one is called the Spinal Selector. It's scaring me because do they actually do this? So they're asking for the bootcamper's username so that they can look for that person's scores. That person's scores. You know, there's a text file. There is a text file that has the student results. So you input the person's username, my username. I got 0 for the entrance exam. I got 0 for the final exam. I think I did well on my projects because I could explain my code. You know, even though the test didn't pass, but my code was right and I could explain my code. I understood what I was doing. Okay, so there's a text file that has all the scores, the bootcamper's scores. So you have to search for the username, return the student results, their exam scores, their percentages, their project scores. Okay, there's a lot of calculations on this one. I hope this is just because fuck. Anyways, that's all it is. If you have any questions, do not ask me. Do not ask me. Please subscribe. Please like. If you do have questions, if you do have any questions, you can ask me. I think I still remember everything. You can still ask me. I'm still waiting for them to tell me if I got in or not. If I didn't, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna cry. Yo, ngizokhala, shame. Ngizokhala, but at least I have all this information now. I can study and I can go back. And another thing I forgot to mention on the other video is how fun it was. How much fun I had at the bootcamp. Yo! It was so much fun. Every day I was looking forward to seeing not my group. Well, they were basically my group because we sat together. I'm gonna put in the video that I took of them. It was so much fun. I was always looking forward, and they were also always looking forward to seeing everyone else. We had so much fun. And I love them so much. And I hope I can see them again. So that's why I want to go to WETHINKCODE, because you have so much fun and you learn a lot while having fun. It's an amazing experience, I don't want to lie. It's a great experience. No more hours of code. Just go there and have fun. Just go there and have fun. Just 1 week. Have fun.
Serious. Yo. Hi. What's up? Peace.
Oh, is it?
Second last day.
Is it a video or a photo? Oh, it's a video.
Let me ask you, the lady.
I don't know.
Why don't you
Ngoba bekune-stress sonke lesikhathi.
My face will be somehow.
Maybe it expired, didn't it?